guys, welcome back to No Offers. Today it's me and my boy BLT. And what's the conversation today about, bro?
So today we're going to talk about adulthood, growing up, expectations and stuff like that, reality versus what we had in mind when we were growing up, what we thought adulthood would be.
Yeah, so I think we just, there's like a couple of videos going around social media that are saying that because maybe the life expectancy of a human has gotten longer throughout the years, that it has also delayed the growth or mental growth of us. And I could definitely see it. I mean, I've been talking to you about how I don't feel the adulthood hitting it, right? Like when getting my first job, of course, I had to, worry about, okay, health insurance, FHA, HSA, right? Having to worry about like 401k, Roth, all this stuff, right? That I didn't really worry about when I was a student. But other than that, like I feel like it hasn't kicked in, and I think it's because I don't have to worry about anyone else but myself, right?
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about, I have a kid, I need to take him to school.
Right.
I have a wife, how is she doing, right? When previous generations my age were,
they're probably married,
2 kids, and doing other stuff, and even like, and that's like generational gap, right?
Yeah.
But also seeing it in terms of a couple years, us that are in the same generation, right? People who are 3, 4, 5 years older than me, same generation, talk about how their number one thing that they wanted as kids was that driver's license. Right? Which makes sense, right? My generation, I grew up also wanting the driver's license.
Yeah.
But once I was at the age of getting my driver's license, that's when Uber hit.
Yeah.
Right? The kids younger than me, the people younger than me, perhaps don't even grow up wanting the driver's license because Uber is a thing.
Yeah.
Like, why are they going to study for this? Why are they going to get a car payment, having to pay insurance, where there's a thing called Uber.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so, I mean, when you were growing up, like, how do you imagine, like, adult life would be like?
Wow. I mean, I always thought of myself going to college, right? I definitely, that's also something else that's different, right? I feel like in previous generations, a college education got you a job that could afford, or you could afford a house, I feel like.
Like a college education was definitely a lot more prestigious. You definitely get a lot more doors. But I guess during my time, all you need was a high school diploma for a lot of the jobs.
To get a higher paying job, right, than minimum wage?
Well, you can get jobs that are above minimum wage with just a high school diploma.
Right.
So, like, back then, the high school diploma could get you into, like, a banking job, like a teller. And then, like, from there, you just eternally,
like, just move up, right? Become manager, district manager, all this stuff, right?
Yeah. So back then, like, you don't have to worry about a college education because, like, that's more of, like, a luxury. That's how we see it back then. Like, it's a luxury. It's for people who can't afford it, or people who are pursuing, like, prestigious careers, like, being a therapist, being a doctor, lawyer, stuff like that Asians kind of strive for.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, back then, college was more forced on the Asian kids.
Okay.
Yeah. Because, like, if you don't get, like, a college degree, you're, like, considered a failure. If you don't get, like, a certain GPA, you're considered, like, a bad kid and stuff like that. Like, it's a lot of pressure for...
I've heard that, bro. I've heard that Asian kids have big pressure from parents to be that perfect student, right?
Yeah, and it's worse in, like, Asian country like Japan, Korea. That's why, like, the suicide rate for, like, kids are, like, a lot higher because of all the pressure, cramming school and all that stuff. But high school diploma is all we need. And then like if you go back a generation before my generation, like they don't even need like a high school diploma, you know.
To get a good job, right?
Yeah, and like they can just work like McDonald's and they like could pay for their house and stuff like that.
Dude, that's a conversation I had with my brother too. He's on like, cause he asked me like, when was America great? You know, like we've heard that like make America great, right? And and I'm like, bro, I think honestly what they're referring to is when a man, right,
Mm-hmm.
could be the sole provider of a single household
Mm-hmm.
and own a home.
Yeah, working minimum wage job.
Working that blue collar,
Yeah.
man's job, where you wake up early, you go to the factory, you do your hours, you come home, right, and you're able to pay for a house, right, and I feel like that's
what the
American dream, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that's what we saw in what old sitcoms.
Yeah, but the thing is like to like go back to that, it's like the people who had that type of American dream realized, right? Those are the same people that realize, hey, we could make a lot more profit. We could, you know, why charge X amount when we can charge Y amount, right? Because like if we are to look at technology, right? Technology has made everything, and as well as production, right? It's a lot more productive nowadays. We spend a lot less time
doing the things. We spend a lot less time doing chores.
Yeah.
And we spend more time doing the things we like, right?
Yeah, so like when it comes to workforce, like productivity and stuff like that, we're like all time high. And the cost to produce anything nowadays is a lot cheaper than what it was back then. So why is everything else like higher?
So expensive.
It's
right?
because they can, right? So that's why, you know, there's a great quote from George Carlin, which is like a comedian. He passed away a few years back, where he says like, they call it the American dream because you gotta be asleep for it, you know? So, but outside of that, it's, we can never go back to that anymore. Because, like, you know, the greed, it's just crazy. Because, like, if you look at the housing market right now, right, it's, for Los Angeles alone, like, the median price is like 800,000.
700, 800, yeah, that's what I saw too.
Who can afford that?
Dude, like, there's houses in my neighborhood that are like a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom, small little shack, and they're like $1 million.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want that, bro. Or first, I can't afford it.
I mean, like,
and then I'm like, I wouldn't even want that.
Yeah. I think, like, the new hobbies right now is just, like, people just looking at, like, sites, like those house for sale sites, like Realtor and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just, like, dream about, like, the house that they can't get. But, like, it's really hard to you know, to buy a house, at least in California. Because, like, in other states, like the middle, like the Midwest and stuff like that, like, very affordable. Like, still 100,000 could get you, like, a 3-bedroom or 2-bedroom or something like
really?
that. Yeah. So
I think in some parts, like rural parts,
yeah.
But yeah, dude, I just think, you know, going back to, you know, a college education now with what a lot of people would consider an okay paying job, you know, you can't afford a house anymore.
Yeah.
What do you think is gonna happen, bro? Like, where do you know, a master's is gonna be minimum now? Soon, probably.
You know, with the way it's trending, I won't be surprised, but I doubt it. Just because, you know, college, school is just an investment, right? And then, like, with student loan, the way it is, and, like, how that is structured, it's very difficult to move forward. Because I think for my friend who went to med school, after she's done, she had like a $250,000 student loan debt, but like she's a pharmacist, so I'm pretty sure she paid off by now. But you know, like I'm just saying, like overall, it's kind of ridiculous because like I think the median working like salary is like 40,000 or something like that.
Yeah, I believe it's 40.
Yeah, and then. So if you do the math, 40,000, Uncle Sam takes about half of that. So you're looking at like 20,000, right? So I mean, like as an adult, you gotta go bills, whatever, right? Some of us are more fortunate than others, where like our parents actually has a house or something like that, where we don't have to pay rent. But even then, like you still gotta go out, right? Like every time we go out, like I think we've talked about this before. Like every time we go out, like we spend roughly like 40 to like 60, like on average.
Dude, I was having this conversation with my friends last time when we were gonna go get dinner.
Yeah.
And we're like, what should be the budget? You know?
Yeah.
And we're like, you know what? How about, I don't want to do anything fancy, right? I don't want to do $40, $60, $80 per person, right?
Yeah.
But I also don't want to go to like Mickey D's and spend like $15, right? How about let's do something like $20, right? $20 per person. We went to a restaurant. We ate some pasta. Dude, the bill was like $150 for like 4 of us.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, what happened to the $20, dude? What happened to the $20, man?
Yeah. I think for me, like back then they have like the dollar menus everywhere. So I think in like high school, I think I just go to like Carl's Jr., right? And then I get about 5-6 burgers, and that was my lunch. Like I used to eat like a lot.
Dude, this guy was ripped back in high school. He just showed us a picture. My man was like a little ripped guy right there, all yoked.
But
you were pretty ripped, man.
Yeah.
And then all that swimming, you had to eat the 5-6 burgers, bro.
Yeah, I mean, like I think I ate that for lunch, then I eat that again, like for dinner or something like that. So, I mean, but dollar menus were like everywhere.
Were a thing, right?
Yeah. And then nowadays, I think McDonald's trying to raise their prices. I think like there's like a lot of backlash about that.
Dude, I still remember when I was a kid. I think the McChickens were like 2 for $3.
Yeah.
And now they're like 2 for $5.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, in a couple years they're just gonna be $5 for a chicken sandwich. Right?
And nothing has really changed about like the chicken and stuff like that, right? Like outside of there's like a bird flu or whatever. Like when that happens, just like supply and demand and stuff like that.
I mean, employers are getting more money. I just saw a sign that said starting pay rate for McDonald's now is like $17.50. So there's that.
When the minimum wage when I started, I think I started work really early because I really wanted a PC, right? So I started when I was. What's the age that you can legally work? Like 14?
Yeah, 14.
Yeah. I think 14. I get the slip, and then like I work for YMCA. My minimum wage salary back then was like $6.25 per hour. Yeah, gas was like $1. So
$6.25. Dude, 1 hour of work, and you already have your 3 burgers for lunch and 3 burgers for dinner.
Yeah. So I mean. Definitely a lot has changed since then, but if we want, I don't know, like overall something has to change, right? I heard that there's a lot of empty apartments because like 2023 is when the developer has like built the most apartments out there, but like since they're charging such ridiculous prices.
Oh, you know what I've also seen?
What?
Because you know how remote work is a thing now? They're turning like all these office spaces into apartments now.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Which is really cool. I mean, if there's more apartments for rent, and if you say that there's empty ones, then the prices must go down, right?
Yeah. I mean, when that goes down, housing prices should go down as well, right? Like, why pay for a house when you could rent and not worry about, like, fixing shit? Just let the landlord do it,
But I guess kind of, to end this off and going back to what we were talking about in the beginning.
Yeah.
About,
well, let me ask
people experiencing things at a much, later age.
Yeah.
When do you think that will stop? The viral videos going online are saying, people don't even start dating till way later. People don't start settling and marrying till way later, having kids till way later.
I don't know. I mean, it depends on culture. I think it's more like the American thing, though.
No, it's definitely an American thing, because it's not.
Yeah, because in Vietnam, by the time you're like 18, you probably have like a kid or two, right?
Yeah,
maybe.
You're already working.
Like, they don't really care. Yeah, like you're on the farm and shit.
No, it's definitely a first world thing, for sure.
Yeah. Has it So let me ask you this question. Well, my answer to your question is like, at the way we're going, I think it's just gonna be. I don't think it's gonna change. Like it's just gonna get. Yeah, I wouldn't say worse, because like you get to retain your innocence a little longer, I guess.
Yeah.
Which is a lot better, right? Because for me, back then, I just thought like, oh, being an adult is gonna be amazing. Yeah, I get to have like a lot of freedom. I get to do X, Y, and Z. Like no one can tell me what to do. You know.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't know about you, but I'll ask you this question: like, has the being adult like match the reality? The reality of being adult match your what you imagine an adult would be?
No, dude, I think it's definitely different. Um, I know I had this talk with Maria too about like movies, watching old movies, and that setting your expectation. You know, especially because coming from like immigrant parents.
Yeah.
Like we can't really relate to the way they grew up.
Yeah.
Right. So, but like movies don't really show how we're growing up.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like the closest thing, right? American movies, right? How American people grew up in like in the middle of nowhere, probably, right? Right. So I feel like high school in movies is really shown as partying, having a good time, going out with your friends, things like that. But when you're from the hood, you're 16. There's no really going out with your friends in terms of like going to these parties and stuff like that. I like going to these parties and having a good time, like this movie show it. Mm-hmm. It's usually pretty dangerous, or you never know who's around and things like that, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't, man. I feel like in a movie scenario of things when you grew up, people usually my age are probably getting married.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They finish high school, they finish college, they get their job, they probably buy whatever car they want, they probably look into getting married after that, buying a house and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And right now, I feel like I could barely afford my own meals, bro.
I know, right? You were like you look forward to the meal, and then you also have to think about food. There's also healthcare, especially now where like if you don't have healthcare, you're gonna get like dinged for it, and then when it comes to tax season, then you get penalized for not having healthcare. Yeah. Yeah, but it is what it is. That's the adult life. Do you think it's hopeful? Like, since by the way we're talking, it seems like don't be an adult or whatever.
No. It just I feel like it's definitely a big slap in the face of what you think it's gonna be to reality, right? But you just gotta keep working hard, I feel like, damn, well, that's also the thing, man. I feel like being an average Joe isn't attainable anymore. Yeah. It's either you're really broke, or you're out here being a millionaire and flexing it on the gram. Where's the in between for the American dream, guys? Yeah, that's what that's what people are saying too. Like the middle class is starting to like shrink and shrink and shrink. So yeah, that's what we need. We need a more middle class, man. Yeah, middle class is what really makes America great. If it's a big middle class, that's what we need. Yeah, I mean, like the sentiment of like make America like America being great. Like it's always been great, but like it's always been great for people who are in the right position. Yeah. Right now, like, and I feel like the people that are in the right position just happens to be the people who are in a few generations before us. Yeah, and I feel like that's all right. Like I have this conversation with my brother the whole time, a lot of times too. Where he's all like, "Bro, it's not fair. Like, you get people who, their parents took the SAT, their grandparents took the SAT, so they know what to study for, they know this. Yeah. And then us, we're over here going at things blindly, standardized tests, not knowing what the college experience is. And I'm like, yeah, dude, but we're also like first generation, like American, like this is our first time being in this country. Your kids are going to have a way better experience than you. Mm-hmm. Your kids are going to be well adapted to this whole life, I think when it comes to like social changes, like college experience, like the social aspect of growing up definitely has improved. Like what we have now compared to what our parents had is night and day, right? They had to struggle on that.
But when it comes to opportunities such as wealth, equity, right, and creation and stuff like that, like definitely our parents has a better chance, right? Because back in the early 2000s, 90s, right, in my neck of the wood, houses there were like big houses, right? Big properties were being sold for like 100,000.
Oh, bro.
Now it's like 1 million. So and it's barely been okay. We're in 2023. It's been 20 years. Has our wage increased by?
No,
I mean, like
by
that.
10? No.
Yeah. So I'm just saying. The opportunities for us for certain things, for certain aspects, has definitely gone down. But like there are certain things that's gone up, right? And then with social media too, like we can reach out to like people from other countries and from anywhere in the world actually, as long as they have like internet, right?
Yeah.
So.
Damn, guys, let us know what you guys think. This has been it for this episode with my boy BLT. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share with all your friends. Let us know what you want to see. Till next time.